This year's health check continues to assess European banks. We assess the banks across two dimensions: profitability and efficiency, i.e. the ability to generate capital in year, but also the resilience of the balance sheet to further shocks, which has a balance sheet view to it. And so we find that there are a number of banks that tend to be Nordics or the Benelux banks that are particularly resilient, particularly well positioned. They are what we call winners. In the quadrant which is opposite that one, the ones that we call the highest concern, we continue to find a number of Italian, Greek, and Portuguese banks. This being said, there are banks that are with resilient balance sheets, capitalized, but have not cracked the code on how to actually have efficient and profitable models. Many of the German banks and the British banks are now in this quadrant. And on the other hand, we also have banks that have profitable models, efficient, but whose balance sheet is not particularly resilient to shocks. A number of Spanish banks are in this category. And so this is an evolution to the previous year's views, but there are other interesting conclusions. The first one is that when we look at the top 10 banks in Europe, only one has actually improved its position, and it's a long-term trend. So the mid-cap banks have found ways to gain competitive position vis-à-vis the large ones, and that has been done through digital, through cost reduction, to finding new profit pools to actually find their business models or reinvent their business models, which the large banks apparently are either slow or unable to grasp at this stage. This being said, loyalty is now proven to be a key success factor. And so as we measure net promoter score for banks, the winners tend to have much higher net promoter scores than the laggards or highest concern banks. And this is the first time we've been able to analytically prove it by both combining net promoter score and the health check of the banks. So it is surprising that there are still so many European banks in a fragile position, especially when the formula to actually find the solution to migrate them from the highest concern onto winners has been tried, tested, and successful. And a number of banks have made this journey, but not all. So we will still see these journeys going ahead if management teams decide to embark on it.